Good everyone, I'm going to do this video today is another one requested by Raptor Jesus, and this time it's something a little bit different. So obviously with the most recent events, a lot of people tend to choose vehicles to obviously go with and everything, and they tend to look for an aircraft that can do various different things and also potentially get a good amount of kills and be efficient during event grinding. Now, before I continue, if you would like to see a tank version of this, please do let me know and I will do so. But obviously, most of you lot are here for aviation, so here we are. So obviously, we're going to be going through the nations and we're going to be just choosing a couple of aircraft. Well, I've selected 3 for each nation. I've tried to keep the premiums out. I think the only one I could, well, I didn't put, well, I did have a premium was Japan. But yeah, I've organized a couple of aircraft which I think personally are going to be efficient for the event grinding, and most importantly, will be able to carry a team and or do some damage even if you can't carry a team because they're that crap. So, starting us off with the J21A1. This pusher propeller-driven aircraft is actually one of the most powerful single-engine fighters in the game. It's surprisingly maneuverable, packs brilliant armament to say the least, and with good performance but trading and climb rate, you've still got a capable aircraft that can be versatile and can potentially give the enemy team a hard time. And obviously having quad 13.2s and a 20mm cannon, this thing's basically a Swedish P38, except of course you don't have 2 engines, you only have 1. But this thing's actually really powerful, and in skilled hands, these aircraft can more than turn the tide. Now, obviously, if you want to do more research based, if you're obviously doing the event and you need to research out the tree as well, you can actually go with the J21A2, because obviously that thing's rank 4, and obviously you can get the rest of the props and then start making your way towards the jets. I would actually advise a talisman on the J21A2. It's a very good aircraft. Next up is the B-18B. Now, obviously, the offensive armament is not as good as the T-18, so if you want more fighter killing capability, go with the T-18. But the B-18 packs a decent bomb load, decent gunners, rockets, and it's just such a versatile aircraft. This thing's one of the most fun aircraft to fly. It also can do daily tasks, it can also do special tasks, so can the J-21, and just overall, it's a very effective aircraft for events, and that's why I thoroughly recommend if you're going to do an event, have this thing in your hangar ready to go, especially Spaded 1. Now, obviously, recently there's been a lot of events where events start at rank 2 as opposed to rank 3, which they normally tend to do. Meaning that I had to select an aircraft which could potentially work at rank 2. Now, obviously, you do have the B-18A, however, you've got the B-18B already, so I don't really see the point in that. So I'm actually going to suggest a J-22A. Now, why the A and not the B? Well, you can split your guns in this thing, and you can use the 8mm for lighter targets, and the 13.2s you can save for the heavier targets. I always used to think the J-22B would be better for events, which, in terms of offensive firepower, you could argue yes, but if you want to stay in the fight a bit longer, this one's your bird, and, well, it's very capable. The 13.2s can pop light tanks and light pillboxes if you need to. The 8mm are more than capable of doing their job as well. So now we move on to France, and I know Moxie's going to like this one. I've selected 3 reasonably capable aircraft. Obviously, the VG some people might disagree with, but this is the SB2C-5, and I know Moxie loves this aircraft, that's why I mentioned him. This thing carries a good bomb load, can carry a pair of gun pods, has a rear gunner in case you really need to use it, although if someone's on your tail and you're relying on twin 30s, you're doing something wrong. And overall, the versatility on this aircraft makes it perfect for events. Obviously, you can use the US Helldiver, but with the US, I've decided to go with something a bit different, and well, you'll see that later. Then obviously the French King Cobra, very capable aircraft, and of course it looks lovely in this skin in the proper silver looking paint, and obviously it just sticks out a lot better. And obviously the aircraft, I would actually fly the French Cobra over the American Cobra because of the color. Like, this thing really suits its paint job, that's for definite. But it's got a 37mm cannon with 58 shots, quad 50s, three 500-pound bombs should you need it. Great climb, great performance at altitude, you name it. The King Cobra is going to do your job. Obviously, again, a rank 2 aircraft. This is the VG-33, and I know some people are going to disagree with me on this, but remember, this is personal preference. The VG packs a single 20mm cannon as well as 4 machine guns. The 20mm cannon can pack ground target ammunition which can pop light tanks and obviously light pillboxes, although I don't advise doing the pillboxes, I just advise against the tanks. But the 20mm and the backup MGs are actually surprisingly effective, and with the performance on this aircraft being quite good, it certainly is, shall we say, a capable aircraft in the right hands. Just bear in mind in up tiers, you may not be able to keep up with your competition, so I'd actually recommend flying the VG nowadays in a squad in an up tier. On to Italy. This one was actually rather easy, and well, you can sort of understand why. The Italians as a whole have some very capable aircraft for events, this being one of them, the RA2001CN. Now, I would have gone to CB, but the CB has 7mm machine guns to back it up, and well, who needs that crap when you can just use 20mm cannons? And obviously, with the bomb rack being permanently placed there, you do have access to a single 250kg bomb. This was actually one of the first aircraft I ever did a video on, funnily enough. That actually got surprisingly amount of views to say, like, like I obviously didn't know much about recording at all, but that was one of my most viewed videos, and it still is, especially with the dogfight with a Spitfire one. That's a common one that I tend to see coming up in my comments. But the RA2001CN is the best for events, in my personal opinion. You've got the punch of the 20s, you've got the punch of the Braiders, which they're actually pretty effective with tracers. And then, of course, you have the 250kg bomb to deal with light targets, or even some heavier targets like a tank. Again, very capable aircraft, good performance, good climb, great turn, you name it. This aircraft will do your job. Next up, C205 Series 1, what Hairy Feet and me call the Crappuccino, because not a lot of people respect this aircraft. You really should. This aircraft has incredible performance. And although its armament is a bit lacking, if you keep your speed up and your energy up, this thing is one untouchable son of a bitch, and that's putting that lightly. This aircraft packs an amazing climb rate, great offensive firepower with the 12.7s at least, and just in general, if you're in a 205 and you're above your target, chances are you're never losing the fight. Unless it's a Spitfire 5, because those seem to have ungodly amounts of energy retention. And finally, once again, another one for the Italians that I know Moxie will enjoy. I made this sort of a shout to Moxie as well, because he's a great guy, but at the same time, this aircraft is one of his favourites, the SM91. 6 20mm cannons, small bomb load to help with versatility. The rear gun is incredible for dealing with targets behind you. They don't expect a 20mm and they will sit, and it's just incredible what this aircraft can do. It's really capable, really fast, and it's actually got dive brakes if you need to use them. This aircraft's incredible but can't really take a hit, so you just got to be careful with that. Now, China was a bit more easier, shall we say, and that's putting that lightly. Now, recently the P38s have been nerfed as far as Hairy Feet's told me. Obviously, it feels a bit more weight in the back. I haven't flown a P38 in a while. I'll have to let you guys know about that. But this aircraft is really good. The L model is probably my favorite P38 other than the G. It combines a good climb rate, reasonable versatility, good guns, and great performance at altitude. This aircraft is a very capable aircraft in the right hands. Just bear in mind Chinese teams suck. Next aircraft is the P66 Vanguard, and a lot of people will be surprised by this one, but hear me out. The P66 is actually a pretty capable aircraft once you get it spaded. A lot of people, well, the best way to summarize this thing is fly it like a Corsair. That's at least how I generally flew it, and it works really well. This aircraft is surprisingly capable. And in the right hands, even though it's only got 250 cals and quad 7.62s, they're pretty punchy. So give this aircraft a chance in an event. And finally, one that Zeal is going to like, because well, this is the other aircraft he flies when he's stepped out of his LE7, is the Chinese P-47. The Chinese P-47 really needs no introduction. It's a P-47 D-28, and it's got incredible performance with incredible versatility should you need it. So during an event, this aircraft is probably the one I'd go to in China, simply due to the fact that it's got the performance to take on the Japanese quite well if you know what you're doing. Next up, and here's the one premium as far as I remember. The Japanese. Now obviously rank 4, I went with the J2M3. It's got rockets, it's got light bombs, it's got the climb rate of a god, it's got the guns to give a hard time to most aircraft, and it's got the speed to keep up with most in a dive, and even the energy retention on this aircraft is rather insane. Obviously, soon enough, you will be seeing a review on the J2M5, but if you're going to go with an event vehicle, this one's your bird. It's incredible. I absolutely loved the J2M3. Next up, even though the Corsair's been nerfed as well, because, well, this thing flew like a dog last time I flew it, the Japsair. Obviously, I wanted to keep the premiums out of it, if I could at all. But if you can't get if you don't have the Japsair, I would personally say one of the Zero or the J2M2 be a rank 2 vehicle. Alternatively, one of the Ki-61s or Ki-44s. But otherwise, the Corsair packs, great firepower, reasonable climb, and obviously nowadays it's a bit nerfed, it just doesn't feel right. But it's still an incredible aircraft either way, and I highly recommend picking it up if you haven't already. Obviously, there is a review on my channel on this aircraft, so feel free to go look at that. And finally for Japan, the A6M5. This little bugger is an absolute nightmare sometimes. It's actually rather surprising how good this aircraft is. You don't expect a Zero to be able to keep up with you in most situations. But this little guy's lightweight and reasonably powerful engine actually makes it a pretty dangerous aircraft. Just watch for Chinese A6M2s though. They will outturn you, and Hairy Feet has been reported for being a hacker apparently because this thing lost in a turn fight to a Chinese A6M2. Newsflash, the A6M5 will never win against an A6M2. Now for Britain, this one was actually pretty hard. I was so tempted to put the Whirlwind P9 in here, but to be honest, the Whirlwind is probably the better option anyway, and even then the P9 is quite rare, so I chose the Mark 1. The Mark 1 packs good performance, low ammo count, which lets it down, but also versatility with its new bomb racks, which got added a couple of months back. It's got a pretty good climb rate, and whilst it won't be able to carry a team with its guns and its ammo count, it'll certainly give a black eye to an enemy team if you know what you're doing. Next up's going to be a bit of a surprising one, because you'd have thought a Hurricane would be on this list somewhere, but don't worry, there's an aircraft down there that's already taken that place. This is the Spitfire Mark 5B. Very capable, good guns, good turn, great climb, nothing really needs to be said. The Spitfires they're really capable aircraft, and using them during events is actually one of the better things you can do for the British line. Obviously, you can use a Hurricane, but Hurricanes only go up to rank 2. But don't worry, your rank 2 aircraft is already sorted for you. The Sunderland Mark 5. Incredible guns, incredible durability if as long as you don't take a fuel fire. Whilst the bomb load's not great, the Sunderland is nicknamed a honey badger for a bloody good reason. It's the only aircraft that Harry has ever reported of taking a full 10 poots from his boot and scoot, the Ki-44-2 Ussr, and not giving a shit. So you know it's tough, and there's a reason why me and Harry avoid these things like the plague unless we absolutely have to. Amazing defensive armament, great durability, and the fact that this thing flies without even caring without any tail control, this thing's great, and I highly recommend people give it a go. Now for the USSR, I really couldn't decide much, but obviously there's a couple of aircraft that I thought, and again another one Moxie will like. Obviously I do not have Boris, So I've gotten out is brake fluid drinking cousin Dimitri, the IL-2M Type 3. Obviously, this aircraft is pretty capable in its own right. 23mm are awesome for taking out aircraft. The rear gunner is surprisingly effective, and the variety of different payloads you can put onto this aircraft make it very versatile for its job. And well, if you need to take on a fighter, you actually can. This thing turns actually pretty well at high speed. Next up, the MiG-315. And I've been using this thing a lot for daily tasks, surprisingly, and it's a very, very good fighter. You've just got to watch the lockup, but with its good climb and good performance at altitude, if you're in a down tier, this thing's practically untouchable, unless there's CWs on the enemy team, which would only happen in a mixed game. So it's a great aircraft. There's nothing really for me to say. And finally, once again, another one Moxie's going to enjoy, and you can tell how long it has been since I last flown this thing, because I have the payload is set up. But the SU-6, I'm just going to change the thing before I do it. The SU-6 M71F. This thing packs light bombs for what it is, a good variety of rockets, twin 37mm cannons, and two 7.62 Shikars. It's a really dangerous plane. Now, if you want to change to the AM42 to get the 23mm, personally I wouldn't blame you, but at the same time, these are more effective for cleaning up tanks. So go with it how you will. It is personal preference after all. Germany was really easy. It was either going to be the 109s or something like the 177 on the ME264, but I thought, no, that's just dirty. I'd rather go with something that would actually make sense. So for Germany, I've gone with three BF-109s of different types. Obviously, the G10, probably my favorite 109 other than the K4, and obviously the E1 down there, but obviously I'm just going to go briefly over each aircraft. The G10 packs incredible performance, great guns, obviously, with all 109s, and obviously the versatility to carry bombs. Do I really need to say more? This aircraft is incredible. It's probably one of my favorite G series, other than my precious G2 Trop. Now I'm probably going to get a bit of hate for this one, but hey ho. The BF-109E1. This aircraft is notoriously known for being a bit of a stat padder's dream, and I see a lot of them flown by stat padders. I've seen people with like 12k kills in this fucking thing. But the E1 is actually pretty good for events. I used it during the BS 180 event, and I've not flown it since because, well, it's disgusting. But it's a good aircraft for an event. It's got bombs if you need them, and it's got a performance to beat whatever it fights. So, as long as you don't go turn fighting Spitfires, you should be fine. And finally, for Germany, the BF-1 and G2 Trop. My precious, this thing is. This thing has carried me through multiple events, multiple Warbond grinds, and what can I really say? I have a personal attachment to this aircraft because of just how good it is at its job. It's got incredible performance, good guns, versatility. It can actually take a hit rather well, the Gustavs can, and well, it's a fun plane. Highly recommend giving it a go. Now onto the final nation, which is the US. And well, this one, as you can tell, my voice is starting to die, so I better speed this up. But yeah, this one I decided to go with four aircraft because well, there's lots of aircraft you can use for the USA. The rank 4 choice was the F-82, and I know Mr. Killer Tigger will like this one. The F-82 Twin Mustang, obviously, I don't recommend actually carrying the pod. It does actually decrease the aircraft a lot more than what it says on the stat card. But the F-82 has incredible performance, good versatility, and can easily get up to altitude to intercept those bloody 264s if you have to. And with having such capable bomb loads as well as rockets, you really have no excuse to not play this aircraft during events. Next up, the B-34 Lexington, one of my favourite bombers, and well, that's why I have the Hudson, the what I nicknamed Sully, and also the A-29 in my heart. These aircraft are highly capable, have good bomb loads, and they're very versatile. and you can also double as a fighter in them if you wish. What more is there needed to be said? And obviously the 50 cals on the back are incredible for dealing with pesky tailgaters. Obviously, I'm not going to go over the P47 D28 again. China's got one. I covered that. It's great. That's all that needs to be said. And well, I just had to include the Black Widow, didn't I? Versatile, great armament, great turret to actually defend yourself with, good capable bomb loads, and a whole much more. So, what do I really need to say there? So, obviously, this video has been a bit longer than I usually tend to do in terms of like guides and stuff, but I hope it helps, and obviously, you may get some inspiration for your own events when obviously those come around. Obviously, obviously this is your opinion as well. If you've got any aircraft that you use personally, please do put that in the comments below. And if you think I'm wrong on anything, please do say. I'm more than happy to take in any criticism from people who say, oh, this aircraft's not recommended for me because this and that. Obviously, again, if you want to see a tank version of this, please do let me know in the comments below as well. But anyway, I'll let you guys off. Sorry for the bit of rambling, because, well, there's a lot to get through. There's 9 nations now, so assembling all the tanks ready for that video will be a nightmare, so just let me know if you do. But anyway, I'll let you guys off. I'll see you all later.